Tom, I don't know what to make of all of it. I'll just give you the floor here and tell me what you think is going on. The only thing I could say is I saw Robert Kraft there. I interviewed him before the game, and he was talking about how the Patriots had waited a decade to play in the market of Germany, and how the Patriots were the first organization in the NFL to translate their website into German, and how this was seriously, he was talking, and he wanted to win this game badly. And then that happened. So what do you think is happening right now at Patriots headquarters, Tom?
There's resignation, I think, that this is going to end. It might end for the head coach and quarterback. It might end for just the head coach. But I think there's resignation that a change has to be made, because there's a chicken or the egg conversation to be had with Mac Jones. In the first half, he was sacked 5 times. He had been sacked 16 times all year. Second half starts, and he gets brain lock on that 3rd and 2, decides not to throw it to Demario Douglas, decides instead to move around and finally throw it underhanded out to the flat to Ramondre Stevenson, where it could have been a pick 6. He misses Hunter Henry in the end zone. He gets screamed at by Bill O'Brien, deservedly so. And then that wasn't just a physical letdown on the pick. That was a mental letdown. That's a 20-foot putt to hit 2 feet with the tournament on the line. And to me, there are myriad reasons Mac Jones is what he is right now. And some of them lie simply with Mac Jones and his limitations. But a lot of them lie, too, with the decisions made around him, who he's throwing to, who's protecting him, the offense of 3 different coordinators in 3 years. But a first-round pick is broken. The players around the first-round pick are not sufficient. And the reason those players are here are Bill Belichick. And the team is spiraling. They're 2-8. You have to make a change. And I think there's a resignation and an acknowledgement that's going on inside the building that's what's going to happen. Now, how much culture can they keep intact over the next 7 games? That remains to be seen, but you have to try and figure a way to do it with dignity. And I'll also ask you, Rich, now do you understand why people were asking the question last week?
No, yeah, I do. I do. No, Tom, I get it. Look, you've got the boots on the ground. I'm sitting out here in Southern California and last year in Germany. No, I know.
I mean, I am teasing.
No, I know you are.
The naked eye realization of, oh my God, they're really this bad.
I just didn't think that, he was coaching for his job this week. That was my point. Like, I understand that everything that you said makes complete sense, because I saw a team that was, miserable, to be straight up with you. Although David Andrews was very, he seemed upbeat. So did Mac Jones. But when it all came down to, and Andrews after the game said, don't blame Belichick. We're playing like what. And a lot of players, a couple of the old school players, I think Slater came out and said the same thing too.
Yep.
So I don't think he's lost the locker room. That was my point. No. Is I didn't think that he was coaching for his job in Germany at all. That was my pushback on it. But I do get the sense that this remarkable run of 2 decades, is entering its final throes. I did leave that building that night with that sense, to be straight up with you, Tom.
And the notion that Bill Belichick would be dismissed during the season,
that makes no sense,
unilaterally, is still infinitesimally low, unless Bill says it's not working. Put somebody else in here. And I don't see Bill ever doing that, just based upon everything we know about him and how he was raised and the things that he sees valuable. He would never say, I can't do it, and desert.
Right.
And so that would never happen.
The Belichick that we also found in our broadcast meeting too, Tom, seemed thoroughly engaged, loves ball. My God. I mean, like that. So it's not like that fires out, right? It's not like he's burnt. I've seen burnt coaches before. That ain't him. I mean, he loves ball. He loves everything about it. He loves the scheming. He loves all of it. So my question for you is, where do you think it all has gone wrong to the point where 2-8 for the first time since his first year there?
It goes to player personnel. It goes to drafting and free agency. It goes to, and Bill will say that a lot of this was caused by chasing competitiveness in the late 2010s. And he pointed that out in 2020. He said, this is a reset. We're in salary cap jail. He wouldn't give Brady a 2-year, $25 million contract guaranteed because he said they couldn't afford it. My understanding was that Bill told Brady, we can give you 22.5 on the salary cap. We can't do any more than that. And Brady was under the impression he was going to get a 2-year, $50 million contract. So there was a divorce from Brady in that 2020 pre-March 17th departure that was financially tied. So Bill saw 2020 as a reset, and then with all the money they had, because the cap had gone down and the Patriots were in a great position, when they shopped for players, they kind of went through like drunken sailors and bought everything. It was Nelson Aguilar and Jonnu Smith, and they hit on Judon, they hit on Henry, they didn't hit on Kendrick Bourne. Meanwhile, they did hit on Kendrick Bourne somewhat, Devon Godshaw, players who they spend exorbitant amounts of money on. They hit on Mac Jones, but then Bill would, I'm sure, point to the brain drain within the coaching staff. Josh left, Brian Flores left. We've been rebooting in personnel with Nick Caserio leaving and Monty Austin-Fort leaving. So we've been stretched there. So Bill would maintain, I think, that we tried to wring everything we could out of the late 2010s. And this is a rebuild that's ongoing. Yes, I accept blame that from Joanne Williams to Tyquan Thornton to N'Keal Harry to Duke Dawson, we've swung and missed. Isaiah Wynn on first through third round picks. I just did a list. There was too many to even send in that they've missed on. But the free agency, the player acquisition, the coaching staff setup has all conspired to leave the team where it is. And Bill, at this stage, doesn't have the same wherewithal, I think, to collect minds from around the NFL, nor the patience to train people. So the coaches on this team are like Mike Pellegrino's a former lacrosse player. And he's done a pretty good job at the corners overall, but he's not a tried and true coach who came up in coaching. Joe Judge is here, and he's not done a hell of a lot of good for the team. And he and Matt Patricia were both working here in large part because they were still on contracts from their former employers. So he hasn't done a real active job bringing folks in on the coaching staff, and he's done poorly bringing players in. So that's why they are where they are.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.